Hi everyone. I hope you're having a great day. If you don't know me already, I'm Melissa from Educating Jacob, and I want to take a moment um, to share my tip for Autism Awareness Month. As you know, I started Educating Jacob because my son Jacob has autism, and April is Autism Awareness Month, so here I am. Today I'm going to share a couple of things that I found very useful for my son and in teaching children at school, and it's very popular in for our population of children to use social stories and visual schedules, things that will help them. So this is a little book that Jacob had when I was teaching him his when he was younger. Look how handsome that little boy is, and you can you can see the cat got hold of it. Jake got hold of it. I can't believe it still exists. Um, this is back when he was 5 years old. It goes over his address and his birthday. Pictures of his brother, our pet, and things that they would do. That some monkey bars that was in his room, and it was just a way for us to practice things that he needed to know. Here he is playing video games. Look how focused. So things like this are great for reinforcing, just taking a minute to read together, teaching them how to read stories with you. Here is something that I made. Jacob really liked frogs, dinosaurs, those kinds of things. He was all boy. This was a horned Cameroon toad. So you have the picture, and a different page has got the information. I didn't put the picture and the words on the same page because sometimes that's a little bit too much. They're looking at the picture when they should be looking at the words, or looking at the words, they should be looking at the picture to get details. Both areas have specific details that I wanted, and with our children with ADD and autism and all of the above, it's good sometimes, especially when you're first making these books, to put pictures on one page and just words on another so that they can't confuse the two. Now, a funny story about this, Jacob would name all the different types of toads and frogs, and he had a really hard time speaking, but he would tell me horned Cameroon toad. But I would flash a picture of a bird. Everything was bird, 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 except for one. He loved the black cap chickadee, and he would name that one. But every other thing that I tried to teach him was just a bird. He was having no part of learning the different kinds of birds. Here's another one of the toads. This one is a oriental fire-bellied toad. He could tell me that. This one is just a little book that had both of the brothers in here and their chores. Um, this is feeding the dogs, making my bed, and then you have pictures. Again, the pictures are on another page, and you can see that I just used printer paper and printed out some digital photos that I had on the computer. And again, this was a long time ago, and I, instead of laminating it, which got to be pretty expensive too, I just put some clear tape over it to make it last longer. And amazingly, I still have some of these books so that I could share them with you today. This one was a glass frog. Again, he could answer questions about something. Now, he couldn't have a full-on conversation with me, but when I would flash it, he could name it. And if I wrote a question and, put a couple different answers, he could choose the right answer. So if you use a visual schedule, if you use things like little social stories, they can learn. And once they understand that using your visual schedules and using your social stories, that they can learn and they can get it, they're proud of themselves. And what a huge win for you and your family. So this is just a start of things that I have and I wanted you to see. And I also want to show you, this book has been taken apart and it's not even in order anymore. This is my day, it says, with Nana and Pa. Now he has pictures like this of everybody in the family. Here's his brother doing his Lego creations that he would, destroy most of the time. Me, young and with short hair. My mom and I. Jacob loved looking at all of these. He loved reading about what they were doing. And he saw that I had these for this episode. He wanted to take it. He was trying to take it away from me. And I told him I have to use it. I mean, because this is really like a scrapbook, right? So he loves all of these old pictures of his Nana and his Pa and, aunts and uncles. I've got every member of the family always in here. For one thing, I wanted him to be excited when somebody was coming over and we could go, oh, here's, Uncle Mike, here's Aunt Julie, here's all of the things. So I just can't tell you what a win visual schedules and social stories are and how they can help your children learn. There's one thing I want to share with you before I get off, and this is not going to be a very long one today. I'm pretty upset. I wish I hadn't, but I saw the video of the young man being shot in Idaho, the Idaho teen who had the knife in his hand, has autism, and somebody called and said he's drunk and he's chasing somebody around with a knife. Apparently he has some behaviors, but he was behind a fence. I think maybe the family didn't speak English when the officers arrived. He was shot. I don't know if he's going to live. But it's just something that's a nightmare for any parent that has a special needs child. So one thing that I'm going to put up on my site and in my Facebook, I have created it's laminated like this, and I don't have it in the house right now, but it's in the cars. And it has a picture of Jacob. It says who he is. It states that what his diagnosis is. He has autism. And it has his name and address, all of the things, in case we're ever in a wreck and I'm not conscious. And he's unconscious or he's conscious, but he can't tell them, my name is Jacob Garcia, I live at, whatever. It has that information. It states that he's got epilepsy. It states what his medication is. I was working at the hospital before I became a teacher. I was a pharmacy technician and I was in the emergency room, and a caregiver had been brought in on an ambulance. They were having some kind of medical event. I don't know what it was, but the grown child was so distraught, and obviously, like Jacob, he did not have the communication skills, and he was so distraught he was chained to a bolted to the floor chair until they could get someone over to him. They had to take care of the person that came in on the ambulance, so they couldn't deal with him right away. And I'll never forget seeing that. He did not have the emotional intelligence and the capability and that distraught mindset to understand what was going on. So we have to do a better job as parents. We have to, my neighbors know Jacob, and they know if something ever goes wrong. If somebody were to pull up in front of my house, an ambulance, a police officer, anything, they would be able to say the son has got autism. Now, some people have things on their door alerting um, the police. I don't know how to feel about that. I think it's a good idea, but at the same time, I don't want to advertise to the rest of the world that my autistic son, if he opens the door, you can just do whatever you want, because he would probably let you in. Now, Jacob does not, he's, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about that. That's a discussion that me and other parents and we're going to have. I can tell you our local fire department, because David is a volunteer firefighter. Well, he's not volunteer anymore. He's paid at both places. He's got the local fire department that knows us and has EMS over there. They understand that my son has autism, and if they ever show up here, they'll know. But we've got to find a way to make sure that our community understands the needs of our kids, so that they're not hurt and harmed the way that they are. I don't know how all of that is going to pan out, and I don't want to see any more video of it. I can tell you from the little bit that I did see, I'm very concerned, because yes, he had a knife in his hand, but he was behind a fence, and there were, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 police officers on the other side of the fence. So I don't know, I don't understand why he had to be shot. It's something that I cannot unsee now, and I don't know. I will have some templates, like I said, so that you can pop in your kid's name and address. The laminated sheets that I have in my car states that Jacob also has epilepsy. It tells what it looks like if I'm having a seizure, or post seizure, what he's going to be like, so that whoever finds him in the car, if he's unable to say, the information is there. So that's it for today. We've got to do a better job keeping our kids safe and letting others know and understand what it looks like. I understand that our police, they've got a tough job, and people that are drinking and drunk or on drugs and all of the things can go crazy and sideways really quick. So these police officers didn't understand when whoever called it in said that he looked drunk because he was stumbling. Well, that was apparently part of his disability, and he had autism with behaviors that go with that. So I can't speak with any knowledge on him because I don't know him, but it's tragic, and my mom heart, I can't take it. We have to do a better job. We have to do better for our kids. Okay, so have a great day, and check back. I am going to have some templates that you can use to put in your kids' information, laminate it, put it in your car, keep it near your house. Have a great day. I love you guys. Have a good day.